go live. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm back. Back in the New York groove. Well, almost. I think we're almost back, right? Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with Astrology Mojo. Let me just find myself on the screen and you. Hey, come say hello to me. So we are with Astrology Mojo, and we're talking about Mars in Pisces beginning May 12th. And it will coincide with the Venus in retrograde also this week through the end of June. So this is interesting. There's a lot of stuff happening all over. And just remember, if you don't know me, you don't know that I say that the planets don't make you do anything. We live in a cooperation with the cosmos, so that when the planets make a move, you feel it. When you make a move, it's reflected by way of aspects and angles in astrology. So essentially, astrology, transformational astrology, tells you what time it is. It's not a dictator. It does not rule, the planets do not rule your life, and you have free will. Hey, who knew? You have sovereignty over your own world. You do. That means you are responsible for your creations. Now, when we create something in astrology, we look at the different planets that represent the culmination of, I like to see planets as people. So if you were, let's say, at a party and you met someone who represented Mars and Aries, they would be dynamic, very magnetic. They might be very opinionated, or just so light and happy and childlike, and they just want to play and flirt and have a great time, but they're powerful energy because it's directed energy. Now, when that Mars energy gets scattered, they can become childish. They can become, they interrupt you. That's childish. It's like me. It's me. But me. I have the answer. That's on the downside. Or they hide. They hide in the shadows and manipulate around people or issues or things. So the Mars energy now, Mars, the planet, is traversing the constellation Pisces beginning tomorrow for 6 weeks. And as it does, and if you're watching this in a replay, this applies to Mars moving into any constellation, but we're talking specifically about Mars in Pisces. Now, you may have been born with a Mars in Pisces in your natal chart. Or perhaps you have a prominent placement. Maybe you are a Pisces sun, rising, or moon. Maybe you have Saturn in Pisces. Maybe you have Jupiter in Pisces. So when Mars moves and what's called a transit in your chart and within 8 degrees hits that point, there is an opening. There is a focus. There is an intensity because that's Mars. Mars is all about fun and play, but also war, aggression, metal. That can be automotives. That can be metalworking. That can be you're not paying attention and you're chopping something while you're looking out the window and ouch. So Mars also represents blood in the body, infections, fever, the head, the eyes, sometimes the ears, but Mars shares that with Venus and Taurus. So just be aware of, as Mars moves, when any planet moves into the next constellation as it's rotating around the sun, we feel a subtle shift. Now, it's not doing anything to us, right? No, it's not. But what we feel is, suddenly I feel different, because that's indicative of what we're seeing, a witness, like the map of the stars. We're seeing, and I'm not talking in Beverly Hills. It's like the map of the stars gives you an indication of what you're ready to engage, because you're ready to do it. your focus changes, your actions change along the path. Does that make sense? I'm just going to have a sip of my butterfly pea flower tea. It's got antioxidants and all this lovely goodness. I add a sweetener to it, stevia, but because it has no flavor really. But I love the color and it makes me happy. So there it is. So come say hello to me. Hey, so Ronnie's here. We're going to be talking about Mars and Pisces for each of the signs. Now, I'm going to do my best to get to at least 6 signs, but I'll be back on Thursday in case I don't, to finish up the Mars in Pisces. So let's start with the air signs. That would be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. I was playing with a bunch of cards while I was talking. So now, let me get my notes. Hello, come say hello. How's everyone? And happy Mother's Day every day. If you have not seen the video that I posted to my personal page or to my Astrology Mojo page, please watch it. It's amazing. And it's dedicated to all moms who care. Thank you. On behalf of one of them, of the masses, I am one of them. Okay, so Mars and Pisces. Mars represents action, aggression, assertive, spontaneity, sex, fun, play, childish behavior, tantrums, hissy fits, interruption, whining and complaining, and headstrong. So headstrong, you could bounce marbles off and they don't even know. Okay, so that's Mars in a nutshell. Blood and infections, fever, head, eyes. Now, and also vitality and energy. Pisces, it's kind of an odd pairing. It's really like a very dynamic energy, has to slow down into the dream time, into the world of fantasy and magic and meditation and karma. And you're like, wow, this is trippy, Mars says at a party when they meet Pisces. And they go, are they drunk or high? Because what? So Pisces represents the dream, karma, not good or bad, harmonizing of energy. And Pisces also represents the ideal vision of where you'd like to go, not always how to get there. That's where Mars comes in. And it's also representative of cynicism on the dark side, the victim, negative, the martyr. On the high side, neutral to positive, Pisces and Neptune represent piety, devotion, poetry, beauty in the most magical way, and the arcane arts. So astrology, yes, that's more the Uranus world, but the transference of energy, vibrational healing for Pisces as well. So, but that ideal vision has to be gotten through a physical means. If you're in a body, you're corporal, you've got to act. That's where Mars comes in. So Mars in Pisces represents how you can move through a situation with a different frame of mind, without as much aggression. And if the victim comes up in your speech or in your psyche, that's a beautiful time for taking action on healing to create that dream come true. All right? In a nutshell, Mars in Pisces is acting on that creative, mystical, magical, metaphysical vision to heal the karma so that your dream can come true. So what's your dream? So let's start with the air signs. Gemini. Mars in Pisces in the general charts winds up in the 10th house. And the 10th house in astrology represents the masculine parent and your life direction. Also your career, if you have one. And the career could be parenting. The career could be, I worked all my life and I'm now retired. So with Mars in Pisces now, moving through your 10th house, Gemini, sun, rising, moon, or Mars in Gemini, or Saturn, Jupiter, Venus in Gemini. Okay, you're looking at, what do I do now? Now what? Why? Should I? Could I? What if? So the dreaming starts. What if I went part-time? What if I went back to work? What if I started to think about retirement? What if I planned for another type of career or another job? Or maybe and remember, folks, when you listen to my information, I will eventually have timestamps on these for YouTube, but I want you to listen to your sun and your rising sign. Okay, and you can listen to your moon sign, although these are calculated for the sun, but sun and rising primarily. So you could be a Gemini sun sign with a Capricorn rising sign, or an Aries sun sign with a Gemini rising. So you want to think about how to combine this information, right? Okay, let me get back to it. Gemini, 10th house, career direction, and or thinking about how to act on incorporating a new dimension to your career. Now, I have a lot of clients who are Gemini or Gemini rising, and because of the situation in life, they've been delegated toward home environment, working at home from home. So they've had to upgrade systems. They've had to put boundaries on family. That's been a rough kind of thing for some of them. For others, it's dream come true. It's like, yes, I get to just be away from the crowd and the masses and the transit and the people and the stuff, and I get to do my stuff at home. So everyone's going to have a different response, Gemini, sun, rising, and moon, right? But with Mars and Pisces now, I want you to think about incorporating maybe a little bit more meditation into your daily activities. Maybe you start to research, how can I create a bridge between where I am now and where I want to go, right? And that comes through the Pisces energy, the Neptune energy, the dreaming, the meditation, the utilizing of energy work and visualization and going deep within to really make the connection that the outside world is there, because all of our realities are being projected. You mean we are responsible for what we see in the world? Oh my goodness. Yes, we are. Okay, Gemini. So with Mars and Pisces through the end of June, you want to really think about what's true for you, and then how to Doctor Strange your world. You want to add some energy techniques, some meditation techniques, some believing is seeing techniques. Okay, Aquarius. We're going to move through the air signs now, and then we'll get to the water signs. So Aquarius, sun, rising, and moon. Maybe you have Mars in Aquarius. Maybe you have Saturn or Jupiter in Aquarius. So with Mars in Pisces, Aquarius, sun, rising, and moon, this deals with your second house energetically, and that is self-worth first and foremost. Who I am, my value to myself, my resources, my inner resources. You know, a lot of astrologers will say, well, the second house is your income, and it is. It's how you make your money and how you view money and budgeting, that kind of thing. So it is important, Aquarius, sun, rising, and moon, that you budget now. You budget your time efficiently so that you make the most of your money, and you budget your resources. Now, if you have a talent that can transfer online, then sky's the limit, no limit. You can keep going. You can take that artwork that you've been working on, or those sculptures, or selling those crystals that you've been doing, and make a web page, and start directing traffic to it. Use a platform this is the action part of the program, such as, Facebook or Instagram or whatever internet package or vehicle you want to use, Aquarius, sun, rising, moon, and put your images online so that people can say, oh, I love that. How much does that cost? I want to buy that. Click this link. So you can transfer your business online. Now, if you're not in business and you're thinking about budgeting, you want to be really careful, because now is when you might spend way too much money. So there's more outflow than there is income. With Mars and Pisces, you might get lost in, I've always wanted to do this. Yes. You want to get a reading. You want to take piano lessons online. You want to learn how to paint. You start buying all these books on poetry and haiku so you can write them. Fantastic. But we just want to keep an eye on the budget. But bottom line, Aquarius, Sun, Rising, and Moon, you are worth it. So as you're thinking how to strategize, where's my income coming from? How can I make it a magical transference of energy so that I get what I need and I provide value? So I am valued as I provide value. Does that make sense, Aquarius, Sun, Rising, and Moon? Okay. If you're just joining us, we are talking about the Sun and rising signs as they are experiencing Mars and Pisces. Mars enters Pisces tomorrow, May 12th, through the end of June. And during this time, we're going to note on how to take action on our dreams. So now with Libra, the next air sign. Okay. Libra has an energy that vacillates. So does Pisces. Mars does not like to vacillate. So you might come to a place where you feel restricted physically because Mars is transiting your 6th house in the general charts, Libra, Sun, and rising sign. Okay. So when Mars transits in Pisces through your 6th house, Libra, Sun, rising, and moon, you're feeling restricted physically, and then it frustrates you because the Pisces energy sometimes gets stuck in a loop, can't get out, don't want to cause harm. But yet the cynicism, so where does that energy go? Libra, Sun, Rising, Moon, if you can't deal with the feeling, it gets directed at whatever's in front of you. So it's your spouse, your lover, your children, your parents, your roommates, your coworkers. So, and you're a peacemaker, but that everyone touts Libra, Sun, Rising, and Moon as being a peacemaker. They are, but they're also very judgmental. And so that energy backs up and it's, well, how come they got to do that and I have to do this? So the anger starts to build and then it comes out in a passive aggressive way. Mars and Pisces can be very passive aggressive. So it can backfire in your body. This is the downside. I'm talking about Libra, Sun, Rising, and Moon. And the downside is you don't want to get an ulcer. You don't want to have passive-aggressive tendencies toward your family. It is time to move that energy. What I recommend is NAET, Numidropod's allergy elimination technique. Chiropractors are in practice with this. You can do laser feedback. And unless you have insulin resistance or diabetes or COPD and have lung issues, it is safe to go, I believe, you have to check in with yourself, but I believe it is safe to go to a practitioner who takes all precautions and measures to keep things clean and neat, and for you to really start moving that energy so that you're not so restricted. And ET, neuro-emotional technique, EFT at home, you can just do your tapping, move that energy. I have a client who is a Gemini and was not able to take Bikram yoga anymore. And this was their religion. This got them through the day after a hard day at work, before going home to family with small children. It was, I got to get to my Bikram class, work it out, and then go home. Now there's no outlet. So I said, what are your options at home or in the neighborhood? Well, I could go to YouTube and work out. It's not the same, they say. And I said, yes, what are your other options? And they say, well, I have a chiropractor who does, and fills in the blank, a chiropractor who does network spinal analysis is an energy worker, level 3 especially. So, there are options, Libra, Sun, Rising, and Moon. You got to get a mini rebounder, and bounce. Just get that energy moving. Now, once you do, you're going to really feel much more together. You're going to bridge those gaps. You're going to be less frustrated, and you're going to start to relax into, what? I always liked baking or gardening. You got to get your hands into something that is creative and magical. Meditating, playing music, making little videos and posting them online, or doing Zoom chats, whatever you're into, Libra, Sun, Rising, and Moon. Okay, does that make sense? Let me just check in with everybody before we continue. Hey, Carlene is here. Tanya, Cindy, come say hello to me. We are talking about Mars in Pisces through the signs. I'm going to be working on Thursday to finish up because I have an appointment I have to get to. So let's move on. How is this for you? How is everybody doing, by the way? Come check in. Say hello. Come say hello to me while I drink my magical butterfly pea flower drink. It's got multitudes of antioxidants. It's lovely. Okay, so we did air signs, Sun, Rising, and Moon. And remember, if you're just tuning in, as you listen to the replay, or if you listen to this on YouTube, I'm going to have timestamps put on. And you'll want to listen to your Sun, Rising, and Moon sign, especially your Sun and Rising sign. So whatever combination you are. Now, let's go to the water signs. Pisces. All right. With Mars and Pisces, Mars is in your own sign till the end of June. You're going to feel like you just got shot out of a water cannon in a water park. And the intensity, remember, folks, that the planets don't make you do anything. So how does that work exactly? Pisces might be saying, I don't understand. Okay. If you have been stuck in the mud, earth plus water equals mud, and you've been grounded, you can't get out, you can't go to your favorite whatever restaurant, you're doing your thing, you're stuck in the mud. Pisces, Sun, Rising, and Moon, Mars in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces. What's important to note with this transit for you, Pisces, Sun, Rising, and Moon, is you can move this energy with creation, with energy work, with becoming the sorcerer of your own world, the magical, mystical, fairy, feywood of your own world. So start to meditate. I recommend that for everyone, but especially Pisces, start to meditate. Because if you get stuck in the woe is me, in the okay, feel it, right? But then you gotta move it. We got to move it. Physically fit. Okay, so you want to work out in a way that helps to move your body. Maybe it's yoga. Maybe it's jumping on that trampoline like I just talked about for Libra, especially if you're a combination Pisces, Libra. Or maybe it's moving through words, poetry, writing exercises, painting, sewing, or being creative in your garden. I have a Pisces client who literally created a fairy garden for their grandkids. And they go on walks and they look at, and she specifically planted certain types of flowers and things that would bloom at certain times. So, it was very creative, very productive. And she invited her kids and her grandkids into a magical world. So Pisces, Sun, Rising, and Moon with Mars in your sign, you're going to feel raring to go. You have to watch addictions, watch those extremes, because you might just say, fuck it. That's it. I'm done. I'm just doing what I want. I was on a diet. I'm going to eat all the chocolate candy I want. I can't work out at the gym. So what? So you have to watch your extremes, Pisces. With Mars in your sign, the judgments want to come out. The criticism, the victim. Every victim voice has an equal perpetrator voice. So where are you assessing blame? We want to stop that, erase that, and use something magical. Paint, sing, write, dance. Move that energy. Make sense? Because Pisces, you can start to burn the candle at both ends. I want you to watch those extremes. Get into meditation in a way that is not, I'm going to meditate 6 hours a day. No. Just start with a few minutes, twice a day, especially when you're feeling like you're sliding into the mud. Okay? Make sense? Yay! And this is going to help you move that vibe into, and then create something wonderful and something beautiful. Okay. Cancer, Sun, rising, and moon, Mars in Cancer, Saturn, Jupiter in Cancer. Mars in Pisces is traversing your 9th house in the general charts in astrology. And the 9th house deals with travel. I can't, so I got to get my money back. Or I totally forgot to apply for that package that the government's offering. Or I did apply and I haven't heard back. Or I've got insurance work I got to get done with. Or I've got new clients I have to, how do I negotiate? So there's a lot of, I want to say there's a lot of electric activity. Electric eels live in the water, right? So with Mars and Pisces for you, Cancer, Sun, rising, and moon, it's like there is a current moving through your world and it's almost explosive. So let's make sure that it's a wonderfully productive current and not backed up, passive aggressive, stuck in your shell, blame, judgment. We got to catch that, right? Do not take that wave. Do not take that wave. Cancer, Sun, rising, and moon. We are looking at moving that energy to how can I attract my ideal client? Is it possible? Do I have choice? Do I have power? Yes, you do. How can I talk to the industries of healing, medicine, internet, businesses, art, beauty, and work out, or education, and work out the issue? Everyone's lives got flipped upside down, and now you're attempting to right some things that you feel could turn wrong. Cancer, Sun, rising, moon. So in order to do that, let's start everybody meditating on the goal and the desire, and then grounding yourself, and then seeing yourself fluid, moving through the challenge, the difficulty, and changing the words and not feeling so bound up. I mean, everybody is going through something, right? Always, not just now. It's life. So Cancer, Sun, rising, and moon, this is a wonderful opportunity to educate yourself on how to move that energy. With Mars in Pisces, it's taking a more diplomatic approach to smoothing out the wrinkles in business, working out with different vendors, clients, even potential clients through the internet. Of course, we're all on Zoom now, or Facebook or Instagram, and to talk in a way that is much more in keeping with your truth. All right, Cancer, Sun, rising, and moon, because the 9th house is all about higher education, higher vibe. And it's not just book learning. It can be online classes. You could start teaching online classes or learning something, but it's applying. Now we want to start applying the higher frequency. You're raising your vibration now. So as you go home and you say, you know what, I need to just do some weeding in the backyard. While I'm doing that, I'm going to work out some frustration. So it's not always a direct approach. Cancer, Sun, rising, and moon, you don't have a direct approach to conflict anyway. Now with Mars and Pisces, that's a very indirect approach. So that's like indirect squared. And now it's like, okay, I need to use water. That's sweating, swimming, if you can. If not, it's the shower. It's planting something, a seed in your mind, watering it with higher vibe thoughts to help it grow, if not actual growth. All right, so let's focus on that. Cancer, Sun, rising, and moon, you have a potential to land some really huge clients right now, and or to weed out the ones that no longer resonate your truth. Raise your prices too. Yeah. Okay, Scorpio, Mars and Pisces. Hang on a sec. Is this making sense? Hi, everybody who's here. Hey, Brittany. Come say hello. All right. I'm going to be back on Thursday to finish up the earth signs and the fire signs for Mars in Pisces. Okay. Right now, Scorpio with Mars in Pisces. This takes place in your 5th house. This can be a lot of fun. This is all about adventure. Hey, all the other signs are going, wait, how come I don't get that? Oh, you will. You will. Just stay put. As the planets move around the universe, it represents your need to change, grow, move. Scorpio with Mars and Pisces in the 5th house, it's time to get closer to that sense of family, of that inner child that you might have lost along the way, who needs that resurgence of youthfulness, of play, of sexuality, of sensuality and romance, and just having a voice. So whether you're a writer, a producer, someone who is looking to make a family right now, someone who's raising a family, someone who has grandkids, Scorpio, sun, rising, moon, or at Mars and Scorpio. With Pisces, with Mars and Pisces moving through your 5th house, this is a time to connect to the, kids can play all day, right? So they don't just do a thing and go, oh, I got to go answer some emails now. I'll be back. No, they get involved. So it's time to get lost in play, in healthy play, or a healthy expression. Scorpio, sun, rising, and moon. And healthy expression for you can be, I'm going to open up and actually communicate to my lover. I'm going to sit down and put together a photo album as a remembrance for my grandkids. I'm going to connect to some of those feelings that I've held because of whatever reason. Does that make sense? So this can be a really playful time, but sometimes it can bring up the sentimentality of the past, or I spent too many years medicated or drinking or working at my job. I missed 10 years of my kids' lives, or I wasn't there for fill in the blank. So there might be a little bit of ennui, a little bit of melancholy coming up with the Mars and Pisces transit, depending on who you are. And this is for Scorpio, sun, rising, moon. So I want you to take this time to really connect to your feelings, number one. And then in that connection, make a commitment to now moving one little wave of thought to having it be new. Let's start again. So just like a child who's playing and they come across something that they don't get it, they don't want to play. Somebody says, I don't want to play with you. You're being a bully. Or you didn't tell me you wanted to do that. I don't want to play with you. So you want to think about those times in your relationship where you're not really forthcoming, or you're taking way too much control of the situation. Let's find a place where you can collaborate. Scorpio, sun, rising, and moon. Collaborate in ways that maybe you just derive pleasure from going for a drive. Mars is metal. Maybe it's time you did some wood metalworking with tools, or you get on a computer and you go, I've always wanted to put my recipes down for my family in a document, and I'm learning how. So however you want to move through this energy, just remember, number one, you have to connect to the feeling first, and then not get lost in suffering over your suffering. Scorpio, sun, rising, and moon. What is. What's done is done. But the anger that might have been related to the past wants to come up now, but it doesn't know how to get out. So you need to find a creative way to do it. And it can just mean, I want to play a game. My mother was a Scorpio rising sign. I remember my mom playing one game with me. One. In my childhood. One. We had a card game. And I thought, wow, this is great. And then when I got older, I realized they weren't the play parent. And I missed that. And so later in her life, before she passed away, she decided, we all decided as a group in a family saying, Mom, we got to get you something, so I gave her crossword puzzles or word, puzzles. She didn't want a computer, and that was fine. And I thought, well, how about, Rummy Cube? You used to play that with your friends. She would play with her friends, but not with her kids. So I said, how about we're adults now, Mom? You can look at us like adults, right? So how about we play every night for 2 years, every night? And she was out to win. But it brought joy. And she had the realization of, oh, I can play. It's okay to play. And whatever was going on in her mind. So Scorpio, it's okay to play now. But watch the extremes, not the sugar, the alcohol, the indulgences, the overdoing. We want to watch that because we don't want to numb our feelings while we're engaging freedom of expression. That is the Scorpio, Mars in Pisces, hoo-ha. Okay. So, I hope this has been helpful. Please come back on Thursday. We're going to cover the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and the fire signs, that's Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. We'll be back on Thursday to cover that. I'm off to an appointment. I hope this was helpful. That's the Mars in Pisces energy, May 12th through June 24th. And during this time frame, I want everybody to realize that you have the power to make magic happen. You have the power to move that energy through meditation, through raising your frequency by creating a bridge in your mind to the desire in your heart and bringing it to you. Asking your guides, angels, starseed, energy workers, light beings, friends, family, asking for the universe to show you that bridge. Let's do that. And then I'll be back on Thursday with the rest of the signs, sun and rising signs for Mars in Pisces. Talk to you then. Be well.